Industrial warehouse, Detroit. Lights on 24 hours daily. Heavy machinery running constantly. Security cameras everywhere. Armed guards rotating shifts. To neighbors, it looked like a legitimate manufacturing facility. Machine shop, metal fabrication. Nothing unusual. But inside, something illegal was happening. 10 industrial 3D printers, 15 CNC milling machines, polymer filament by the ton, aluminum blocks by the pallet. This wasn't making car parts. This was manufacturing untraceable firearms, ghost guns, 10,000 produced annually, distributed to gangs across America. ATF had been watching for 18 months, building the case, documenting production, tracking distribution. The operation was called Project Phantom Arms, and when federal power raids illegal gun factories, no amount of security stops the takedown. Welcome to the largest ghost gun manufacturing bust in ATF history. When criminals think technology makes them untouchable, federal agents remind them, innovation doesn't beat investigation. Ghost guns are the evolution of illegal firearms. No serial numbers, no registration, no background checks, built from parts or printed from digital files, completely untraceable. When recovered at crime scenes, they're investigative dead ends. No way to track the buyer, no way to identify the source. Traditional illegal gun trafficking involved straw purchases. Someone with clean record buys guns legally, sells them to criminals. ATF could track the serial numbers, identify the straw buyer, build cases. But ghost guns eliminated that weakness. No serial numbers meant no tracing, perfect anonymity for criminals. The technology wasn't new. 3D printing had existed for decades, CNC milling even longer. But recent advances made manufacturing firearms accessible, digital files freely available online, printers becoming cheaper, materials improving. Anyone with equipment and files could produce functional weapons. Most ghost gun makers were hobbyists, making 1 or 2 guns for personal use. Technically legal, if not selling them. ATF didn't focus on hobbyists. They focused on industrial operations, manufacturers producing weapons for criminal organizations. That was illegal. That was dangerous. That required federal response. The Detroit operation was massive. Marcus Webb ran the facility, former machinist, lost his job during recession, started making ghost guns as side income, discovered the profit potential, expanded operations, hired workers, bought more equipment, built a factory. His weapons went to gangs in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Philadelphia. Anywhere criminals needed untraceable guns, he charged premium prices, $800 per pistol, $1,500 per rifle, no questions asked, no background checks, just cash and delivery. Industrial Ghost Gun Factory, 10,000 untraceable weapons yearly. Comment if you think ATF can stop any illegal manufacturing. The investigation began with a crime scene. Chicago gang shooting. 3 dead. Weapon recovered. Glock-style pistol. No serial number. Completely untraceable. ATF examined the weapon. Professional quality, not homemade amateur work. This came from organized manufacturing. More ghost guns appeared at crime scenes. Same quality, similar design, different calibers, but consistent construction. ATF realized they weren't seeing random hobbyist weapons. This was industrial production, standardized manufacturing, quality control. Someone was running a factory. Special Agent David Martinez led the investigation. 20 years in ATF, specialized in illegal firearms trafficking. He'd investigated straw purchasers, gun show loopholes, corrupt dealers. But ghost gun factories were new. Manufacturing technology had changed the game. Traditional trafficking we can trace, Martinez told his team. Serial numbers lead to dealers. Dealers lead to buyers. But ghost guns break that chain. No serial numbers. No records. We need different investigative methods. The breakthrough came from forensic analysis. Ghost guns from different crime scenes were compared. Microscopic tool marks matched. The weapons were made on the same equipment, same 3D printers, same CNC machines. The manufacturing source was singular. Financial investigation followed. Who was buying industrial 3D printers in bulk? Who was purchasing polymer filament by the ton? Who was ordering aluminum blocks in quantities exceeding legitimate manufacturing needs? The financial trail led to Detroit, to shell companies, to Marcus Webb. Surveillance began. The warehouse was watched around the clock. Workers arriving for shifts, raw materials delivered, finished products leaving in unmarked vans. Security was professional. Webb wasn't amateur. He'd built operational security into his factory. But operational security has limits. Workers talk. Delivery drivers see things. ATF found informants, people who'd worked at the facility, who'd delivered materials, who'd seen the production floor. Their testimony painted the picture. Industrial-scale ghost gun manufacturing. Hit like if you believe 3D printed guns should be banned completely. The undercover phase began in month 9. ATF agent posed as gang representative, needed weapons in bulk, 50 pistols, 20 rifles, could pay cash. Webb was suspicious initially. Bulk orders meant serious buyer. Serious buyers attracted law enforcement attention. But greed overcame caution. 50 pistols at $800 each, 20 rifles at $1,500. Total order, $70,000. Webb couldn't refuse that profit. He agreed to meet. The meeting happened at a Detroit diner. Webb brought samples, 2 pistols, 1 rifle, all ghost guns, professional quality. The agent examined them, recorded serial number absence, discussed specifications, negotiated price. Everything was recorded. Webb bragged about his operation. I produce 200 weapons monthly, pistols, rifles, even some submachine gun frames, all untraceable, perfect for your business. Law enforcement can't track them, can't trace them, can't connect them to you. He was right about one thing. Ghost guns were untraceable, but manufacturing facilities aren't. Financial transactions aren't. Delivery vehicles aren't. Webb's operation left trails everywhere, and ATF was following every single one. The agent placed the order, 50 pistols, 20 rifles, delivery in 2 weeks, payment on receipt. Webb agreed, provided a burner phone number for coordination, left the diner confident he'd made a major sale. He'd actually finalized the federal case against himself: conspiracy to manufacture illegal firearms, distribution of weapons to known criminals, operating unlicensed firearms manufacturing facility. Each charge carried years. Combined, they meant decades in federal prison. ATF continued surveillance while the order was prepared, watching the warehouse, documenting production increases. Webb was ramping up manufacturing to fill the bulk order. More shifts, overtime hours, maximum production. The delivery was scheduled for October 15th. Parking lot meeting. Agent would inspect weapons, pay cash, drive away. Standard transaction. Except 50 federal agents would be waiting. But ATF wanted more than Webb. They wanted the entire operation. The factory, the equipment, the inventory, the distribution network. That meant raiding the warehouse simultaneously with the arrest. Coordinated timing, maximum impact. Too much force or exactly right for illegal gun manufacturers. comment T or R. Planning took 2 weeks. Raid team for the warehouse, arrest team for the delivery, evidence collection units, forensic specialists, over 100 personnel involved. This was the largest ghost gun operation takedown ever attempted. The warehouse layout was studied extensively. Security system, entry points, interior floor plan, worker locations, everything mapped. The raid had to be fast. Web security could destroy evidence, wipe computer files, damage equipment. Speed was essential. FBI provided technical support, jamming equipment to block communications, data forensics for computer seizure, financial crimes units for money laundering charges, ghost gun manufacturing connected to broader criminal enterprise. Multiple agencies meant multiple charges. Local Detroit police provided support, perimeter security, traffic control, community notifications. The raid would be loud, neighbors would notice. Police would manage public safety aspects while ATF handled the operation. October 15th arrived. Weather clear. Operation Greenlight confirmed. The arrest team staged near the delivery location. Unmarked vehicles, plain clothes, blending with normal traffic, waiting for Webb. The warehouse raid team assembled 3 blocks away. Armored vehicles, tactical gear, breaching equipment. At precisely 9 a.m., both operations would execute simultaneously. Webb arrested at delivery. Factory raided. Complete takedown. Webb arrived at the parking lot at 8:55, driving a van. The order was inside. 50 pistols, 20 rifles, all untraceable, all illegal. He parked, waited for the buyer. The undercover agent arrived at 8:58, walked to the van. Webb opened the back doors, showed the weapons, stacked in cases, professional packaging. 50 pistols, 20 rifles, as ordered, 70,000 cash. The agent examined one pistol, checked the rifle, nodded approval, reached for money, then keyed his radio. Execute. 50 agents converged from every direction. ATF, nobody move! Webb reached for a weapon in the van. Massive mistake. Agents tackled him, face down on pavement, handcuffed. Marcus Webb, you're under arrest for illegal manufacture and distribution of firearms. Which should be prosecuted harder? A. Ghost gun makers. B. Traditional gun traffickers. C. Both equally? Simultaneously, the warehouse raid began. Armored vehicles crashed through the gate. ATF, federal warrant. Workers scattered. Some tried to flee. Some tried to destroy evidence. All were secured within 90 seconds. Special Agent Martinez led his team inside. The production floor was extensive. 10 industrial 3D printers running, 15 CNC milling machines, assembly stations, quality control areas, packaging stations. This was automotive-level manufacturing, applied to illegal weapons. The inventory was staggering. 300 completed pistols ready for distribution, 100 rifles in various stages of assembly, thousands of component parts, raw materials for thousands more weapons. The operation was even larger than estimated. Evidence collection began immediately. Every weapon photographed, every machine documented, computer systems seized intact, financial records collected, employee records secured. The investigation would continue for months, analyzing everything. The technology was sophisticated. Computer-controlled 3D printers produced polymer frames and receivers. CNC machines milled aluminum slides and barrels. Assembly workers fitted parts together. Quality control tested functionality. The weapons weren't crude homemade guns. They were professional-grade firearms. Digital files were recovered from computers, design specifications for dozens of weapon types, Glock copies, AR-15 variants, AK-47 patterns, even some submachine gun designs. Webb's operation could produce almost any weapon type, all completely untraceable. Customer records revealed the distribution network, gang leaders in 8 cities, street dealers across the Midwest, even some buyers in other states. The ghost guns had spread nationally, each weapon potentially involved in crimes, all connected back to this one factory. ATF traced ghost guns through ballistics databases, weapons recovered from crime scenes, murders, robberies, gang shootings. Over 200 crimes connected to Webb's weapons. His factory had armed criminals for years. The body count was significant. Federal prosecutors charged Webb with 47 counts: illegal manufacture of firearms, distribution to prohibited persons, operating unlicensed facility, conspiracy, money laundering. The evidence was overwhelming: digital records, witness testimony, physical weapons. Webb was facing life in federal prison. His workers were charged separately. Some cooperated, testified about the operation, received reduced sentences. Others fought the charges. Most were convicted. The entire organization was prosecuted thoroughly. If you believe ghost gun manufacturers deserve life sentences, type SWAT POWER. The trial began 6 months later. Prosecutors presented the evidence systematically: photos of the factory, testimony from workers, expert analysis of weapons, financial records showing millions in profit, crime scene evidence linking weapons to murders. Webb's defense was weak. He argued the weapons were legal to manufacture, that no law prohibited 3D printed guns, that he wasn't responsible for what buyers did with the weapons. The jury rejected every argument. Federal law is clear. Manufacturing firearms for sale requires a license. Background checks are mandatory. Record keeping is required. Webb had done none of these. He'd manufactured weapons specifically for criminal distribution. That was illegal. Period. Guilty on all 47 counts. The verdict was unanimous. Sentencing came 2 months later. The judge was harsh. Mr. Webb, you manufactured weapons knowing they would be used in crimes. 200 documented crimes, multiple murders. You armed gangs and criminals for profit. This court sentences you to 40 years in federal prison without possibility of parole. Webb showed no emotion, but 40 years at age 52 meant dying in prison. His ghost gun empire had ended. His freedom was gone. Federal justice delivered. The factory was seized by government. Equipment was destroyed. 3D printers dismantled. CNC machines scrapped. The building was sold. Proceeds went to victim compensation funds, converting instruments of death into support for survivors. The 300 seized weapons were destroyed, melted down, rendered unusable. Ghost guns removed from circulation permanently. The component parts were destroyed, the raw materials confiscated. Nothing remained of the production capability. The digital files were classified, design specifications for ghost guns. Making them publicly available would enable more manufacturing. ATF kept them as evidence and intelligence, sharing with other agencies, helping identify future ghost gun operations. Other ghost gun manufacturers noticed. The largest operation had been destroyed. 40 years for the operator. All workers prosecuted. Every weapon seized. The profit potential wasn't worth federal prison time. Ghost gun manufacturing declined 30% nationally in the following year. The Detroit bust demonstrated ATF's capability. Technology can't hide manufacturing operations. Financial transactions leave trails. Workers become informants. Surveillance finds facilities. When raids come, no amount of security matters. Should ghost gun manufacturing be a federal crime with mandatory minimums? Comment yes or no. Webb sits in federal prison in Pennsylvania. 40 years remaining on sentence. He's 52 years old. He'll be 92 if he survives the sentence. His manufacturing expertise now worthless. His engineering knowledge useless. His ghost gun fire a memory. The workers who cooperated received lighter sentences, 5 to 10 years. They'll eventually be released. But criminal records mean no gun industry employment ever. Their careers in manufacturing ended permanently. The gang leaders who bought Webb's weapons faced their own prosecutions. Weapons possession by prohibited persons, conspiracy, using firearms in drug trafficking. Webb's customer list became ATF's target list. Dozens of additional cases developed. Operation Phantom Arms became the model for ghost gun investigations. How to identify manufacturing operations. How to use forensics and financial analysis. How to coordinate multi-agency responses. ATF training now includes the case study. Legislation was proposed, requiring serial numbers on 3D printed parts, mandating licenses for certain equipment purchases, restricting access to manufacturing files. The Detroit bust provided evidence that ghost guns were a serious threat. Legislative action followed. Technology will continue evolving. 3D printing improves. CNC machines become more accessible. Manufacturing knowledge spreads online, but law enforcement adapts. ATF develops new investigative techniques. Surveillance improves. Financial tracking advances. Federal power keeps pace with criminal innovation. The fundamental truth remains unchanged. Manufacturing weapons for criminal distribution is illegal. Technology doesn't change that. 3D printers don't provide immunity. CNC machines don't prevent prosecution. When you manufacture guns illegally at industrial scale, federal agents will find you, will raid your facility, will seize your equipment, will send you to prison for decades. Webb learned this the hard way. He thought technology protected him, that untraceable weapons meant untraceable operations. He was wrong. The weapons were untraceable, but the factory wasn't. The financial transactions weren't. The distribution network wasn't. ATF traced everything back to him. 10,000 ghost guns produced, 200 crimes committed, multiple murders, millions in illegal profit. None of it protected him when federal agents arrived. The sophisticated equipment was seized. The professional security was overwhelmed. The entire operation dismantled in one morning. This is what happens when criminals use technology for illegal manufacturing. This is what ATF does to ghost gun factories. This is why innovation doesn't beat investigation. You can have industrial 3D printers. You can operate CNC machines. You can produce professional quality weapons. You can think technology makes you invisible. None of it stops federal power. ATF has forensics, has financial investigators, has surveillance capabilities, and has the authority to raid any illegal manufacturing facility. This is SWAT power, where ghost gun factories get destroyed, where illegal manufacturers get 40-year sentences, where technology meets accountability, where federal agents prove that innovation can't hide criminal operations. The answer to the quiz? C. Both equally under federal law. Manufacturing and traditional trafficking both violate firearms regulations, but industrial-scale operations often face enhanced penalties due to scope and impact. Should ghost gun manufacturing carry mandatory life sentences? Do you support banning 3D printed firearms completely? Which aspect of the takedown impressed you most? Comment below. Like if you stand with ATF and firearms enforcement. Subscribe to SWAT Power, where federal agents dismantle illegal gun factories and prosecute manufacturers who arm criminals. Because technology doesn't prevent justice, it just changes investigative methods, and federal power adapts faster than criminals. SWAT Power: factory destroyed, manufacturer imprisoned, ghost guns eliminated, every single time.